All right, friends, we're not going to work on this, although it's ready to be worked on, but that's probably halfway through another video and you'll see that eventually. But got the trailer hooked up. The guy who owns that 550 said come get it. We're gonna pick it up and see what's wrong with it, and hopefully we can simply fix it with parts we have on hand here. That's the plan anyway. He did get the mower unhooked, but then he called and said it died and it will not restart. So we're gonna have to fool with it, see if we can get it to restart, and if not, we'll figure something out. And we're gonna get started right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. We're gonna go get this 550, and I'm hoping to find, when we eventually tear into it, that it's just got like either a bent push rod or a push rod that's jumped out. That happens sometimes. But today, what I'm hoping we find, it'd be really nice if he just forgot to turn the gas on, because I shut the gas off when I left. And I thought that's how that he had left the tractor, but I don't know. So I'm hoping that that's really what it is, but probably more likely what it is that the points have burned up again or corroded up, and we're gonna have to mess with them some more. I have a sneaking suspicion on that, and it is that I wonder if the coil has gone bad, whereas the internal resistance part is not good anymore, and that would account for it burning up or making everything in there look burnt, and that would account for me getting it to work again and then it only running for about whatever 10 minutes or whatever he used it for today to get it unhooked before it acted up again. Because I know that we've encountered that situation before where somebody put the wrong coil on or whatever, and like you try to drive it from one end of the shop to the other, and that's as far as you get before the points are messed up. So that's what I'm hoping we're gonna find, but we shall soon see. All right. Bush hog unhooked, tractor not running. Let's put out our ramp. So that if we get it started, we can go straight on and be done with it. Sometime we really need to take time to fix the rest of our trailer. We've got all the lumber. We just haven't had the time. Gas. It is off, so if he didn't turn it on, perhaps that's the only reason why it didn't run today. It had enough sitting in it. It could very well be that the points are burned up. I don't know. Again, they were not very good. Battery's about dead. Well, Ross has a solution for that too, in the form of a jump box. Okay. Let's have a gander at the points again. Okay. Okay, come on. Come on, little buddy. All you gotta do is get one more good run, and we'll make you so much better. Where are you? All right. Come on, baby doll. Come on. Let's run. Let's hook up the jump box. which we should have charged up and we haven't, so that could also be a problem. It smells ridiculously flooded too. That's going to be also a problem. Okay. What? Oh, nuts. Is this positive ground? It won't like that, will it? I have to think about that. I have to think about how I'm gonna hook that up to make it go. It doesn't like that, and it won't work the other way. I don't think it will jump it backwards. It doesn't even register. Okay, tractor. Okay. How am I going to do this? This provides an interesting conundrum here, because the jump box will not do the thing when it's hooked up like that, when it's positive ground. So usually on the other tractors, what I do is I just hook the starter directly to if I could bolt those two cables together so that I had power. Keep running. That's not my proudest moment, but it worked. Gonna turn the gas on. Uh-oh. We also gotta remember how this works. I gotta get this to right so that his loader valve works. Very bizarre setup. Come on. It steers like a dream though now, since I fixed that. Okay, sad little horsey. Stay put. Oh, the bucket had gravel in it. I was trying to figure out where all those rocks came from. It died on the road the other day, and they drug it home, and the bucket was down, and so it must still have gravel in there somewhere. Better not forget my jump box either. Looks like we're going to be putting boards in before too long. Alright, well, we're going to chain her down, and then we're going to head for home, because that's what we do. I think 2 chains are adequate. Looks like the toe end is not quite right again, or has it got a bad problem there? One of these wheels messed up on him. Maybe it's bent. I remember he couldn't get one of the bolts had rounded off one time, and he called me. It was over there across the road in the pasture, and so I managed to get it out in there, but that looks like it's leaning an awfully lot. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out. All right, I'll get another chain and a couple boomers, and we'll be on our way. All right, it's chained down. I think it'll make it home, and hopefully we can tear into it and find out what is ailing our little horse here. But yeah, I mean, at first blush it looks like maybe it wasn't used a bunch, but when you look close, friends, all the nubs are wore off of the clutch pedal, so it's got some hours on it, and it's probably not had a whole lot of major shop work done to it, so it's time. So we're going to see what happens, and I probably should look in this toolbox and take out anything that's going to bounce away, like we'll take the air hose with us. All right, let's be on our way. Check out Sadness Acres here. Bailing with the old 770. Sure. Well, we made it. Now we just got to get it off of here. I wonder how that's going to go. You know? Wonder how that's going to go. That's been a long time ago that I did all this. Paint's starting to get a little bit rusty on it, but I think this was a new rim, and the other one I just dismounted and took the fluid out and cleaned it up. That was just before I started doing YouTube, I think. That was one of the last things, and then I worked on his there is a video of me working on the rim on that 77 because it had also rusted through, and that's where I sold him the rim off of mine, and then I bought a pair for $1,000 or whatever it was, because I never had a pair that matched, and that always bothered me looking at it, you know. So at any rate, that made us both happy. He got a cheaper rim, which mine was practically new. I had put it on the tractor new. And you know, then I was able to get a pair that matched, and my other one was one that matched what was on his tractor, so everybody won on that deal. Sure. What are the chances that it would just fire up without having to do all of the jumping? I just noticed something interesting, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. I thought all of the 550s had metal lights, but since this is a late 550, like, you know, towards the end, it has the Stuart Warner lights just like the Fiats had, and that's interesting. That makes sense though, because if Oliver was putting those lights on the Fiats, why wouldn't they just buy more and put them on this, you know? Basically, they would have only had this and the 770, and the 770 was flat top fendered, so it used different style lights. So that is something cool that I just learned I didn't know. Those lights are used on more than just the Fiats. How about that? The more you know. You learn something every day when you're working on tractors. Come on, baby doll. Yeah, see, this is one of those ones where it, for whatever reason, it starts after you stop cranking. And it won't always do it if the battery's low. So I'm gonna have to jump it again. I don't like to do that because what I'm doing is technically illegal. The tractor does not like it, is what I'm saying. But I'll get the jump box and make her go. All right, baby, come on. It's almost like a straight line loader. That is pretty high up there. All right, we're gonna shut it off here. And what we're gonna try to do here in a minute, which we'll probably have to wait a little bit for it to cool off now, but we are gonna pull the hood off and the fuel tank, and we're gonna try to see what we got. Oh, fuel leaks. That's nice. We're also going to try not to put our faith in that loader like it is, because it could come down at any minute. You never know. I don't really want to take the loader off for what I'm doing. I want to just try to work around it, and eventually I'll just put it down. But I thought to get the bolts loose, it might be easier to have that open. These are so strange. They got square-headed bolts in it from original, and so you got to have two different things going. I don't remember what size it is, if it's about 7/16 probably, but there's 4 bolts there, and then we can get that hood off of there, and then we'll, I don't know, probably just put this loader down because it's making me nervous with the creaking. Let's just struggle harder. I don't think that's going to affect us in the least, really. So, yeah, if we can get the hood and gas tank off and valve cover off just to see what we're in for. And I fully expect to find something wrong, like a bent push rod, a push rod that's moved over. I guess it could be a rocker arm shaft of sadness like in that 1650, but I don't think that this tractor would run if it was that bad, because it's only 4 cylinders. So, also it doesn't knock, it just misses. So yeah, we'll start gathering tools here and start taking stuff loose. Exhaust clamp, the exhaust pipe can actually stay. It just won't be secure. We need to throw a bucket over it because he's got the little ting-ting all messed up. We should probably buy him a new one before we're done so that it doesn't, you know, we don't want sadness to happen when this repair's over. But we also have to get in there and see that it's not something catastrophic, because if we don't find anything under the valve cover, then we got to go deeper, like pull the head and see what's in there. And if there's like a burnt valve, that's not a big deal. But if the head's cracked, or let's say that there's a sleeve of sadness or something, I really need to talk to him, because they may not want to fix it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the moral of the story is we got to get there first, or we'll never ever know what's ailing it. So let me grab some more tools and we'll get going. Friends, we're getting to use the standard tools for a change. That hasn't happened in a long time. Let's see here. Oh, is that a bigger than? Isn't that cute? It's going to have a 3/8 head, and it's going to have a 1/2 inch nut. Or take a 1/2 inch ratchet is what I'm saying. They're also angled, so that increases the level of difficulty here. But I've had this off before, so I know they'll probably all come out. Yeah. using the end ratchet for what it was made for. I see something else. Just when we shut it off, we've pulled the fuel line out of his rickety fuel filter he's got here, which we don't even really need, but I guess it probably made him feel good. But you don't need a metal fuel filter when you got a sediment bowl. You just don't. I guess if you had a really crappy tank, or really crappy gas, maybe, but generally I don't like to do that because it's a headache. Now, can we get to this one? I was thinking that this tractor still had all of its nice original fasteners. Come on, baby, no. Come on, baby, no. I learned from this guy's wife yesterday when she was there telling me about this. This is actually her dad bought this tractor. Her grandpa bought the other one. So this is her relative's place where all this stuff, where they live at, and where, so it's her connection to it is what I'm saying. So if the point comes to where they want to sell stuff, it would probably be her decision. So I don't know. I don't know what they will decide. Should we find, for example, that it needs an engine overhaul, I don't know that they're really willing to go that route. I don't know that. I don't know that they're not willing to go that route. But I do know that I doubt I'm going to be able to do that all before harvest time and before winter when he needs it to feed cattle. So if that's the case, I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know if they want to sell it, I would definitely buy it, because it has a lot going for it. Despite its flaws, it does have a lot going for it. It's a pretty good example of a late 550. Oh, that one I bet we're gonna have to table getting that out of there till I loosen that exhaust clamp. Fun times here. I'm racing the sun. I thought it'd be cool to have it apart tonight so that we could see if it was, you know, like if we're gonna get this fixed or not in the next couple days. Because if it was, you know, valve train parts, I should have all that on hand. And then we would just need to order a valve cover gasket and, you know, whatever else we discover along the way. But if I'm satisfied that we find something wrong, I'm saying we could potentially have this done in 2 or 3 days if it's just, we're just waiting on like a gasket to put it back together. I doubt we'll get that lucky, but you never know. Okay. We've got that loose. We need to go here now. We of course don't have that stuff correct. That fits that. The other side I think is a 9/16. We may not need it. We might be able to get it. Because I'm sure that I put that on there last time. Because I don't think it had anything. It might, I don't know if it had these clamps, or if I bought those clamps. I might have bought that whole exhaust pipe, and well, I probably put that bracket back on the hood. I don't remember. It's been a lot of years ago. That's probably been 5 years ago when I worked on that majorly. Now our flat surface needs to be cleaned off. Luckily the seat is a flat surface. Come on. Oh yes, my favorite 550. You got 4 bolts holding the fuel tank down that you really got to get in there to get to. So, and then we got this fuel tank sending wire, which is tight enough that I can't get it like by hand. But I think I got all this stuff right here except a screwdriver. Now, let's take this loose whilst we're here. I have no idea if you can still see, because I'm on the opposite side right now. I should probably come over there. There's your little buzzer that makes the loud, annoying sound the whole time the key's on. A lot of guys rip the wire out of that. I don't blame them. It's kind of annoying, but it's good to know when your oil pressure quits. It's good to have a auditory warning instead of just visual, because some people would ignore a light. Okay, this is not going to go well for us. Is that not the right size or what? Okay, my brain must not be working right, friends. That's the size there. But I can't remember. Are these welded in place or are they nuts through? I thought they were a nut on the back side, but it's possible that they're caged. That one kind of feels like it is. They made so many changes along life's way, from the Super 55 to this last one, that it's just really hard to remember what was what. See, that one I think is spinning, isn't it? Or are we not even on there? Or is that one a different size? That one's a different size. Isn't it fun when things happen like that? This is going to be where this ratchet shines too, if I can get it loose enough where I can... There. Alright, come on. Yes, the muffler is burning my hand, but I am the type of person that would not be able to sleep tonight if I don't get this pulled off of here so I can see what's going on. So, I gotta do it. I gotta do it now. Power through the pain. Power through the pain. Let's see if this... It looks like this is the same. Front ones were 7/16, back ones were... Uh-oh. Wah, 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 wah. Wah. Price is Right sad sound. Can't get the ratchet in there. Try the ratcheting wrench, which we still won't be able to get very much maneuverability on. All right, you're getting too hot, but I'm here to tell you, friends, this is a running joke among mechanics, and this tractor's no exception. This fuel tank is flat out full. It's like people think, well, they're going to work on it, I better fill the fuel tank. So now I got to try to lift out a full fuel tank, or sit here and try to drain out a full fuel tank. And I don't know what I really want to try to do. I'm not sure that I can get this out of there. I don't remember the trick. It's a trick, friends, because you got to clear that. I think I got to take that buzzer loose to be able to get it enough room to pull it up out of there. I think that's how I usually do it. Also, I could cry. That's another way. It would probably work. But you see, there ain't enough room with the way this works out. It's very sad, you know? It's not helping me at all. It's not helping at all. I gotta try to get my hand in places that hands aren't meant to go. This is yet another example of why 550 repair is not my preferred. If I had to pick one to work on, one tractor, this would not be the one that I chose, because it's just, everything on them is so crammed in there to get all the features that they had, because they had way more features than any other brand, like a Ford. I mean, wide power takeoff, 6-speed transmission. This was a very deluxe tractor for its time, but not a lot of room. Alright, the only thing that would make this better is if it had a cozy cab on it. You know? That would make this so much easier. If it had a cab and a full fuel tank. Ah, that's like 10 gallons of fuel. But I'm a man. Ah. Oh, all right. Nasty, nasty, nasty. I think I need to get the air hose. Blow this off first. Then we'll tear into that. And we'll see what we got. I can't remember if that tube is actually into the bolt that holds the oil filter housing on, so I'll probably just take the 4 bolts loose, to be honest, because if we go back together, we're gonna, yeah, that would probably be easier. This should actually probably pull off of that once I get it loose. Let me get the stuff and we'll blow it off first and then we'll try. All right, one 550 blow job. I'd say that's adequate. Let's take this off of here. Just makes it easier to manage than if you leave it on and try to take the whole tube with you. Since these have a weird, again, everything's tucked in there so specifically that it's it's right in there. It's right in there and you don't have no room. Tomorrow I've got another service call to go on. This week I've had like 6. So I don't know what kind of videos you're going to get, but it's not going to be working on my stuff. I don't know. That might be good or it might be bad. Alright, you're getting too hot, but moment of truth here. Get this valve cover off of here and see what we find. We're going to put a new gasket on it no matter what because it's leaking, so. It's teasing us, see? It goes in a little bit and then it pulls in. Wah, 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 wah. Wow. That is some carnage, friends. Uh-oh. We might have I bet we have a bad camshaft of sadness. Because that don't, okay, there we go. What's that feel like down in there? Okay. Let me hook the battery cable up and crank it over a second and see if that push rod will still go up and down, just to make sure that we didn't destroy lifters. We shouldn't have, because there's really no way that that could have. It goes up and down. Lots of sludge and push rod of sadness. So just as I suspected, I didn't suspect that it was broken. I suspected that it had either bent or jumped out, which it did both of those things, and it broke. So yeah, and it's been that way for a long time. So sadness. But the good news for him is Ross bought out a junkyard, and he should have a push rod out of a 550. So parts availability is not the problem here. It's going to be the time we spend cleaning up. We'll have to clean it up, put a new push rod in, readjust all the valves, you know, double check the other push rods, make sure they're good to go. This is so gummy. I mean, it's bad. Everything on here is sludgy. Clean it up, all that, full tune-up, new plugs, points, wires, cap, coil, oil change, and he might be in business. We'll do all that, and then we'll put it back together and find out it still don't run worth the crap. And then we'll have problems, but because it's probably very, very dirty in that cylinder after not being able to open that valve ever for a long time. And see, that would be, let me see here. That'd be exhaust, intake, exhaust. I think that was the intake valve, is that right? Intake, exhaust. I'm pretty sure that that is the intake valve. So I guess that's good. It wasn't. All right, you're getting too hot, but so far I would have to call this best case scenario, or second best case scenario. Best case would have been that it just jumped out, but being broken and finding the piece laying in there and not down in through the motor somewhere, I think we're going to save it again. We saved that 1650 that had a lot more carnage than this. So the next video, I will have dug out a push rod. I will order some stuff that I know we need now, like gaskets and all the points and plugs and all that stuff, because it's getting a full tune-up. It needs it. It has never had that for a long time. Oil change, and we're probably going to straighten out some other stuff on it as we can. It really needs a new ting-ting. They might argue with me on that, but friends, that's cheap insurance, because you don't want to leave it outside by accident and then ruin the motor. So at any rate, I'm happy I found an actual problem and it wasn't just a mystery. So I am going to leave this one here, and I will bring you back next time when I have stuff and we're ready to put her back together. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.